Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Mortgage Coach demonstration. We're going to give you an overview of Mortgage Coach and share why you should get started and what it is. We do want to make sure we also answer your questions. So if you do have questions, feel free to put those in the control panel. Again, my name is Dave Savage. I'm the CEO of Mortgage Coach. A lot of the ideas we're going to show you are ideas that have come from the nation's most successful loan officers. It's important to note when you think of Mortgage Coach, we are a technology company. We are a mobile platform that helps give you a competitive advantage with your borrowers. It's also important to note that when you look, every list that you ever see that shows, hey, here's the top 200 loan officers in America, here's the top 1%. Every time that list comes out, we download that list, we study that list. 34% of that list uses Mortgage Coach. So many hundreds, thousands of the nation's most successful loan officers use Mortgage Coach to have a competitive advantage at the point of sale. Again, every time we do an interview, whether I'm interviewing a top producer, whether it's how to do Mortgage Coach, think of when it comes to self-education around how to be uber successful, you can get all that from our YouTube channel. In this call, we're going to center the demonstration around two big ideas. One, how to get more realtor referrals from existing partners and new partners, how to accelerate going from like a secondary lender with a realtor to primary lender with a realtor. So realtor referrals is going to be a big focus. In fact, I'm going to pull ideas from the interview I did with the Gaylord Hanson team. I also did a LinkedIn article that broke down that interview. I transcribed it. Actually, if you read our LinkedIn article, it'll give you actual scripts. We're also going to focus a lot on rate shopping. I mean, let's face it, the best loan officers get the best conversion. The best loan officer partners to realtors help convert that loan, help convert that buyer. And so when you're able to be a loan officer that actually improves rate shopping or reduces rate shopping and converts to realtors, you get more referrals. So we also have a LinkedIn article which has a very, a long form script on how to address and win the rate shopping game. So again, this is going to be focused on realtor strategies. I'm going to get right into an overview of what is Mortgage Coach. And I'll start with, this is not Mortgage Coach. This is the competitive touch point to a Mortgage Coach experience. This is what average loan officers do who are just delivering rates and fees in a transaction. A Mortgage Coach loan officer, whether it's a pre-approval that you got from a realtor, whatever the sales situation, delivers graphs and charts. That's part of what makes Mortgage Coach so powerful, is that when a family is getting into debt, put yourself in a family, you're getting a mortgage, do you just want to get a B worksheet? Here's your monthly payment, here's your closing costs. Or do you want to get some options, or do you want to have those in a visual format? This is actually a photo of a first-time home buyer getting a Mortgage Coach versus own analysis. And in today's market, not only are there a lot of millennial first-time home buyers, there's a lot of super successful loan officers that are millennial or realtors that are killing it. So a Mortgage Coach loan officer is able to give them the information they want and the education that they expect on a mobile device. This is a Mortgage Coach loan officer, one of the top loan officers in the United States. When a family comes into his office, still about 30% of his families come in. He is walking them through an experience. When they walk out, they've got his total cost analysis downloaded on their mobile phones, so that now when they're in an open house or now when the price changes, he's just able to update the rate. So one important thing to note from this demo is that Mortgage Coach will actually save you time. It will not only improve your sales results, but it will save you time in the process. Whether it's in person or whether everything is online, which again is 80% of the mortgage conversations in today's market, or whether you're meeting with a family in a coffee shop, you're able to use our apps as a way to communicate to families how to build wealth with real estate. Should they pick an FHA loan or a conventional loan? Should they pick monthly MI versus annual MI? And then, of course, this is a conversation between a loan officer and a realtor in a coffee shop, where that loan officer is able to say, hey, you said communication is important to you. You said that you want a loan officer that can create clarity and urgency with your buyers. Let me show you how I do that. You can just pull out your iPad, pull out your mobile device, and you could go from making a powerful, compelling promise to how you're going to deliver on that promise. This is a great example of a top performing loan officer in Washington, D.C. meeting with a realtor, and when she went into this meeting, she didn't know how tech savvy the realtor was. So being prepared to explain her value proposition, she had a piece of paper ready, she had her mobile phone ready, and our perspective is the modern mortgage experience is whatever the realtor wants or whatever the family wants. So if it's paper, we got paper. If it's a PDF, we got a PDF. But where it really gets magical and where it really adds value is when it's a mobile experience. We also have open house. Now, again, we're going to keep this to a 30-minute demo, high-level overview, you coming out knowing what Mortgage Coach is, but a tremendous amount of self-education. And we're going to tell you how to sign up today and get started. But when it comes to putting rates and fees, whether it's wrapping around a home to help a realtor sell a home, or whether it's delivering it to a borrower to help them buy a home, we're turning that into a competitive advantage. So hopefully your takeaway is that this would be faster than what I'm doing today. I'd get more loans and I'd get more referrals. Now, one thing I'd like to showcase, I don't know how many of the loan officers on today's call use Optimal Blue, but for those of you that work for a lender that's either already a partner of ours or has Optimal Blue, we integrate with over 40 different pricing engines, CRMs, LOSs, proprietary platforms. This is what a Mortgage Coach integration looks like into Optimal Blue, where you just go, you're pricing out your loan. If you're with one of our partner lenders, this will be activated where you can pick the loans that you want to forward to the family in the Coach tab, and then you click the button for Mortgage Coach in Optimal Blue, and out comes a Mortgage Coach experience. The family's name, your brand, your picture. Now you just grab the link, you email it, you text it, however you communicate with that family, you deliver it to the family clicks on it, and if they've got an iPhone, they get an iPhone experience. If they've got an Android, they get an Android experience. If they click on it from a desktop, they get a desktop experience. And now one of the cool features about Mortgage Coach, it's called Mortgage Coach Live, the loan officer can actually drive the experience. Just whatever the loan officer clicks on from their mobile phone or their desktop, it moves to the family. So again, it's all about speed. Think of Mortgage Coach as a communication platform that when you're quoting rates, when you're delivering mortgage options, it's an effective, efficient way to deliver rates and fees and educate a family in a way that's competitive advantage. You can even stream a video into this. So I am going to share specific strategies. We're going to give you a few scripts in this demo, but now I'd like to hand it off to our National Account Manager, Anthony Sabala, who's also one of our national speakers, and he's going to demo some of the product. And again, if you have questions, feel free to put those in the GoToWebinar control panel, and we'd be happy to answer those as we talk. Anthony?
Thanks, Dave. So what I'll be sharing for everybody, first and foremost, I'm going to really give you a sense of what the total cost analysis really is. So just bear with me as I get my screen sharing. Just to confirm, Dave, can you see my screen now?
I'll tell you when I see it. Boom, I see it.
Perfect. So as Dave mentioned, Mortgage Coach specializes in really the point of sale part of your process. So when you're delivering value to the customer, we give you the power of the total cost analysis. So what is that? It's a simple interactive overview of loan options, not just products, loan option scenarios that's viewable on any device, smartphone, web, print, as Dave mentioned, with graphs, videos, narration, audio. And one of the best things about it, it's not just a snapshot of the price of the loan, but it also shows the total cost of and performance of the loan over time. And so as you'll see today, with Mortgage Coach, we really want you to walk away understanding that this isn't something that really is just for a certain type of loan officer, because many loan officers have different approaches to their business. And so what we try to do is make sure that when you're using Mortgage Coach, you can use it for what works best for you. And so this slide here is designed to just help you get the light bulb to go off and say, hey, I do some of those scenarios in my business, whether it's FHA versus conventional, maybe ARM comparisons, jumbo loan comparisons, even points versus no points. Our goal is that when you're in a conversation, you really want to showcase your sales advice. You can lean on Mortgage Coach to take all these different scenarios you might do in your business and use Mortgage Coach to display them. So hopefully as you see this screen, you've got a couple ideas already of how you might be using this digital paintbrush for your mortgage practice. And so what I'd like to do is get you actually into a live scenario here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a live walkthrough of what this experience would be like if your borrower was using this on a mobile or desktop. So what you're seeing on the screen now is two specific approaches, whether you're emailing the presentation link to the customer, or as Dave mentioned, maybe you're going to text message this link, which we're seeing is more and more common. But ultimately, what does that experience look like? Now, starting with mobile, because by far, this is going to be something that really helps you differentiate. So the customer is going to get a message from you. They're going to click on the link that you send over. It's unique to them. They can open that presentation inside of the Mortgage Coach app, which was featured in USA Today. So think of this as really an extension of your sales conversation now on their mobile device. The first thing the customer is going to receive is a disclosure. This, of course, is set so it says your actual rate, payment, and cost could be higher. Get an official loan estimate before choosing a loan. They click I understand. If you'd like to watch a video message of you as a loan officer, you can pull up the video narration. In this case, just recorded this particular video, so let that process here. I'll come back to that. Here is a summary of the information itself: loan amount, interest rate, term, payment, even things like cash to close. So the same information that you're already displaying to your customer, usually in a fees worksheet or an email format, now you can package all of that into one dynamic proposal, and the husband, the wife, the real estate agent, everybody can get that information at the same time. And so for you as a loan originator, we're going to go through some of the top 6 features of how Mortgage Coach is used. It's really important that you understand you can really take Mortgage Coach as in depth as you want to go or as simplistic as you want to go. I like to reference it much like an iceberg. If you go below the surface, you're going to find that there's a tremendous amount of capability you can use. But if you just want to stay above the water, there's plenty of ways that you can be successful just using it at the top. So I'll pause before we go into any further detail. I know, Dave, obviously, we've had a lot of success with the mobile platform. So if there's anything specific you'd like me to show the group, I can do that now, or I can turn it back to you before we get into more detail.
Yeah, I want to share a couple ideas, key concepts. Be ready to, show them how quickly they can make it. One takeaway, hopefully you'll have after Anthony shows you how to create a total cost analysis. If you don't have an integration, just Mortgage Coach is a standalone, and we do have thousands of loan officers that use it, is that you can create it in 5 minutes or less. In fact, a month ago, I interviewed 5 top performing loan officers, and each of them showed their workflow, and it ranged from 2 minutes to 5 minutes. So we have a lot of education to help you learn how to create a total cost analysis in 5 minutes or less. Now what I want you to do is I literally want you to get out a pen and paper right now, and I want to talk a little bit about the cost of Mortgage Coach. And I want you to write down, on average, when you close a loan, what is your average commission? I also want you to write down how many loans you close on average a year. Again, we have in our market, we believe that the best loan officers close over 60 loans a year, and we try to help drive loan officers to closing over 100. So we have what we call the Mortgage Coach +1, +2, and what that means is that if you're closing less than 50 loans a month, Mortgage Coach is going to help you close 1 extra loan a month. So by the way, if you close less than 50 loans a month, that is the cost of Mortgage Coach. It's 1 loan a month. If you were closing 100 loans or more, it's 2 loans. Pretty simple. And by the way, we have hundreds of videos of loan officers that are top producers that aren't getting a discount on our software. They are just advocating because it delivers results. So we want to know what the cost of Mortgage Coach is. It depends on your volume, but it's 1 to 2 loans a month. Now, in terms of getting started at the end of this call, and like I said, it's going to be about a 30-minute call. We're 15 minutes into it. It's $90 a month. Individual loan officers can sign up. We're going to give you a link at the end of this call. No commitment. Sign up. It's $90 a month. That one gets you access to the technology platform so that everything that we're doing, you can have access to this technology platform in literally a matter of 15 minutes. And you can start creating your total cost analysis, and you can start getting all this education. Like I said, we've got an extensive YouTube channel. There's actually a good chance that you've been watching some of our YouTube channel. And what makes our YouTube channel so great is just the fact that 34% of the top 1% use Mortgage Coach, and they're teaching you scripts. They're teaching you sales strategies to use this technology to get more realtor referrals and convert more buyers. So I'm going to teach you a quick realtor strategy, and then I'm going to hand it back to Anthony, and he's going to show you how to create a total cost analysis in 5 minutes or less. So this one comes from Jeremy Forcier, Northern California market, does over $140 million a year in production, and he manages a large region that does over $1 billion a year. So, I mean, one thing Jeremy doesn't have is extra time. So when you listen to this 14-minute interview, it's what are the 5 questions that he asks every realtor. So again, you know, when you look at these 5 questions, some of them are questions that you are already asking your agents when you're having your first meeting and you're trying to win the trust and credibility. Or maybe it's a realtor and you're in the second position, or you know what, they're just trying you out. You know, they're throwing you a lead here and there. But these are the questions that Jeremy, one of the nation's best loan officers, is asking each and every time he meets with first agents. And he knows the answers to all these questions with all his existing agents. So here's the magic. You see that one that's bolded, question number 4? Every time he asks that question, or when he's having, whether it's a 15-minute or a 30-minute interview with an agent, it always comes up every single time that communication is a cornerstone to what they're looking for in loan officers. And they say it 20 different ways. So what does Jeremy do? He takes, you know, this is the script. I transcribed it from the interview with Jeremy. And he said, you know, hey, you mentioned that communication is one of your non-negotiables. I absolutely love that. I'm huge on communication. You'll get great communication from me and my team. In fact, I actually CC you on these he calls it his total cost analysis videos. And in fact, let me show you how I improve conversion, how I improve urgency. In fact, let me just show you one right now. And he pulls out his mobile phone or his iPad, and he spends 30 seconds to 2 minutes walking his realtor through his conversion process, how he creates separation, conversion. And then, by the way, one of the magic things about mortgage coaches, oh, let me share this with you. He texts it to the realtor downloads it. Again, we've got countless interviews. So part of signing up into Mortgage Coach is not only getting immediate access to our technology, it's getting immediate access as to how to be a modern mortgage professional, how to use technology to deliver a better educational experience, and how to do that in a way that's a competitive advantage. So I'll toss it back to you, Anthony, if you could show everybody how to create a TCA in 5 minutes or less. I'll give you a couple more sales strategies that will help you close extra loans, and then we will wrap this up and tell you guys how to get started.
Great, thanks, Dave. So for everybody on the call, I really want you to understand there's a couple different approaches to how you can create a total cost analysis in 5 minutes or less. Obviously, if you're at a large organization and you have technology integrations, that's all good and great. But regardless, you should be looking at Mortgage Coach as less than 5 minutes each and every single time you're creating one. And so I'm going to show you both the desktop version, I'm going to show you mobile quickly just so you get a framework of how this is done. And so you log into the Mortgage Coach platform as a member, you have a unique login credential, and then you'll simply go through a series of steps. Let me move the mobile. I do want you to see mobile here in a second. You'll go through a series of steps where you'll fill out the fields that it's asking you to fill out. Again, time and efficiency is your goal here. You're not really trying to spend a lot of time on these sections. Just get what you need. So you're simply going to go through. We model this after top producer interviews, top producer conversations with customers. So we didn't reinvent the wheel. We took what's already successful and implemented it in the platform. And so you notice as you go through, you're simply compiling a presentation for the customer. What would you like to show them? What's the kind of property information that you already know? What's their purchase price and so forth? And then what you'll be able to do is create scenarios. Now, while this is the product section inside of Mortgage Coach, just understand it's as easy as applying a product template, closing cost template, and you're on your way. So our goal is a couple clicks of a button, and you can create a presentation for a customer. What's really nice about this is the more and more you use Mortgage Coach in your business, the more scenarios you'll actually have saved that you can use in the future. Now, of course, you'll change borrower name and information, but for the most part, that initial framework of the presentation you used is still going to be there for you. So you build out a couple scenarios you'd like them to see. You have the ability to manipulate that presentation to show things like long-term or short-term performance. Maybe the customer will only be there for 2 years rather than 10. You can really illustrate a presentation that matches the goals of the customer. Even things like total interest paid, that's a common ask. How can you illustrate that? And of course, we illustrate that in graphical form. So as I've gone through the presentation, I get to the very end, and it's going to ask me to create a link to send to the customer. So I'll generate a link, I grab that link, and I drop it into an email. Now, what's really important to know about this, an email or a text message, is these links are live, and because they're live, we can give you some really unique capability. And I'll point out one here. It's called Notify Me When the Report is Viewed. This allows you to be alerted every single time the customer views that presentation. So if you're extremely busy or writing a lot of pre-quals, you want to really identify priority follow-up, no better way to do that than to look at your pipeline, look at the active engagement from Mortgage Coach, pick up the phone and call those individuals, because those are the people that are engaged in your presentations. And so from there, I really want to dive into, okay, I've built this presentation, just about ready to send it out. But remember, you can do things like add audio and video narration. Why this is important? You, when adding video, get a 4.2 times increase in shareability, which is pretty phenomenal. And for those of you that haven't embraced video yet, just know that we're going to help you get to the point where you absolutely can change the game in your business with video, but you can also do audio to start. So if you're just wanting to get some audio narration, you can absolutely do that. But let's take a look at what this looks like once you've built it, you're ready to send it out. I want to actually show you that now that this is live, now that you've built this presentation, Dave touched on it, this is a live interactive report. And so what you're going to see me do here is select different pieces of the presentation. And while I do that, it's actually going to highlight that same field for the customer. So things like the graphs and the different breakdowns of the charts, you have the ability to really draw their attention to the area that's most important, or at least the area that, again, you feel is going to help them make that decision to move forward. And this is not limited to just highlighting and really some live driving. You can actually do adjustments to these numbers. So common adjustments such as what if the down payment changes, or what if they're looking at a 1-point buy down. Without even getting off the phone, you do have the ability to go in there, make an adjustment, change an interest rate from 4.25 to 4.5, and you don't have to tell the client I'll call you back. You can literally do that from the system itself. So it all updates, it all changes. And for those of you that are extremely busy and on the go, we've gone above and beyond to give you that same capability in the palm of your hand. And so for many of you, as we mentioned before, we understand that your time is valuable. So with a click of a button, I can log into Mortgage Coach and go ahead and edit presentations from my smartphone. I can also record video from my smartphone. So our goal is, again, that you can spend time on what you're best at, which is talking to customers and providing value, not time spent in technology that's going to take you out of what you're really designed to be doing, and that's to help people get in homes. And so with Mortgage Coach, we've built this to be as streamlined as possible. You notice, again, I can do all this from the palm of my hand while I'm waiting for my coffee and get anything I need to that customer. And so as Dave mentioned, our approach to building presentations quickly is that the more you do this, the better you'll get, the more scenarios you implement, the more excited you'll be to start using this with Realtor partners and with customers. And as far as the scripting goes, just know that Dave's got plenty of scripting to help you implement this right out of the gate. Back to you, Dave.
So think about this, everybody. What we're talking about here is just raising the standards of your perfect loan process, so that when you're meeting with a family, whether it's a borrower consultation for a purchase or a refi, you're delivering them something that's more compelling, something that's more valuable to them, and something that will create a better conversion for you. Again, I told you I wanted to focus this around Realtor strategies, because here's the deal. Most loan officers have level 1 relationships with their real estate agents. Let's face it, you don't get any referrals from realtors if they don't trust you to keep your word and close on time. That's level 1. Level 2 is when they see you as a conversion partner. Someone that, hey, I refer this family to Dave, and I'm going to get the maximum conversion. If they buy a home, they're going to buy it with me. But level 3 is where all the magic is. And that's when you are level 2 and you create clarity and urgency. That family actually goes from renting to owning faster. They go from moving up faster. They list their home faster. They pay the price that the realtor thinks they need to pay to get the home faster because they have a level 3 relationship. So I'm going to shine a light on this interview I did with John Downs, $100 million producer out of Annapolis, Maryland. This is actually, he volunteered this. This was 45 days into using Mortgage Coach. So if you watch this interview with John, realize that I interviewed him 45 days after he signed up. So everybody on this call, you could be this success story. And by the way, I did another interview with John that was an implementation interview, and it was basically 2 hours of startup time. I mean, yeah, it took some time. The first time, 10 times he created a total cost analysis. It was not faster than what he does today. But after he put in a couple hours of time, basically, I've got a high school student. He's got 5 hours of homework every week on minimum. For 2 hours of homework, you could implement Mortgage Coach, and you could be the next John Downs story. So I'm going to start in telling this, and this is what his realtor said. So he sent his total cost analysis to the client. Notice he calls it a digital mortgage analysis. We call it a total cost analysis. That's John's word. The realtor loved it. In fact, the realtor said, "I'm super impressed by your material, incredible stuff here." I think that's what you all want to hear from your agents. So I do recommend whether you sign up literally at the end of this call in the next minute or two, you watch this interview with John. The big takeaways from the interview, John talked about how he CCs the realtor with his digital mortgage analysis. That was a big idea that helped him get more referrals. He talked about how he's using the digital analysis with his bloated pre-approval funnel. In John's market, he's got more people kind of on the runway that are pre-approved to buy a home than he typically does. He spends a couple minutes giving his script, sharing how he uses Mortgage Coach to just save time, how to be more effective and make it easier to follow up with his pre-approval funnel. He also talked about in the 60-minute interview how he uses Mortgage Coach at open houses to get more leads. He calls it the digital market presentation. And then lastly, John talks about how he uses Mortgage Coach to do annual reviews with past clients, but to do it in a way that's actually getting him purchase leads that he can give back to his realtors. And he even shares some scripting on that. So highly recommend you check it out. Hopefully you can see by now that this is a better presentation. It's graphs and charts. It's showing the cost of different loan options or showing the cost of owning versus renting over time. It's got your brand on it. It saves you time. So what I want to do now is I just want to remind you guys on the cost, not taking action and getting on the team is 1 loan a month. If you're doing less than 50 loans, if you're doing 100 or more, it's 2 loans a month. And to get started, we're going to put a link in chat. But I wrote a LinkedIn article that 1 tells you how you can just click a button and sign up now. 2, you're on the interactive demo. So by the way, where it says click the interactive demo, that's what you're on right now. It's kind of a redo of that. But I recommend you just take action. You just sign up. It's pay as you go. If you want to have an integration turned on, you're in a lender that has Optimal Blue or one of our integration partners, we can get that process started. But sign up now. And if you do have more questions, feel free to engage with us on social. We've got an amazing Facebook page. We've got a private Facebook group called Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind, where we have over 1,000 of the nation's best loan officers masterminding, sharing how to make more money in less time. We've got an amazing YouTube channel that has, just infinite ideas and strategies to help you close at least 1 more loan, if not 2 more loans. And when you listen to a lot of our interviews, they would tell you that the only technology that they couldn't live without more than Mortgage Coach is their telephone. We deliver more value than any technology they have for most of our clients. So we hope you will take this opportunity to sign up, join our team, get value from Mortgage Coach, and we hope this has been a valuable half hour of your time. Anthony, great job. Unless there's anything else you think we need to cover, I'd say we call this a wrap, and hopefully we see a bunch of new people sign up for Mortgage Coach in the next minute or two.
Absolutely, Dave. Thanks for joining us today, loan officers. And I would just tell you, as you look at Mortgage Coach, understand that this will absolutely work, and we're here to help you make it work for you. And look forward to seeing your results from being a part of the family. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, and again, just want to remind you how easy it is to get started. You could be delivering this in a matter of hours versus this. And in addition to the results that you'll get, there's just a level of confidence and passion for your job and for your business by going from rate quote, fee worksheet, to Mortgage Coach loan officer, delivering a modern experience. It makes being a loan officer more fun and obviously more successful. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time, everybody.